Yeah, I'll put this. That's true. Yeah, which is like the first one. Is it recording?
I'm hoping so.
Alright, yeah. Okay, it's recording. Okay. I'm gonna just make this a little bit bigger. So if that thing ever goes off, just okay, good stuff. So let's do this. Let's try to keep this slow. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jay
and Splint.
And we are on a stoner's journey. And every day we're trying to make our quality better. Today we've got 2 microphones. So that's why
Splint's got his own mic.
Exactly. We can hear. We're not sharing a mic anymore. So that's we can do some crazy stuff here for you guys. How you guys doing? What's up with
what
this
was
Sunday?
your weekend like?
Yeah, man.
Today's Sunday. What was your Saturday night like? Anybody have any interesting stories?
Yeah, we had some crazy stuff happen yesterday, and we'll tell you all about that. Which actually is going to bring us into our topic this week. We decided, as every Sunday, I think we'll do it. Every Thursday, we'll dedicate it towards people questions, and then every Sunday will be a theme that we run that way.
Whatever pops up.
Yeah, but I mean, I think keeping some sort of dynamics would be okay.
Yeah,
you know,
little
just
rhythm to
know what the rhythm's about. So that's what we're gonna do. And this last Sunday we did a theme of our own. This Sunday we'll do another theme. And what's today's
things that are
theme?
relative.
What's today's theme?
Alcohol versus cannabis.
Alcohol versus, and you know why we have this theme? Why do we have this theme?
Alcohol.
Why do we have this theme?
Because we hungover.
Yeah, we're kind of hungover, and
we musicians.
We're musicians.
We cannabis related musicians
Exactly.
that had to practice our art in an alcohol
environment.
friendly zone.
Yeah,
and there were some temptations, I might add, because the heat inside, the lights and things, it dehydrates you.
It was quite insane.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be our theme today. But as usual, we have to start off with anything. And today, Splint manufactures something very unique for us to smoke. What could you explain to us a little bit more about?
Do I need to do the whole process?
You don't have to do the whole process.
Okay,
you
I'll
can
make
just
it
tell
short.
what it is and get into that.
Okay, so I've got this little grinder that's like battery operated. Looks like a little mini blender. What it does is it takes weed and it splits it up. And then you've got the kiff on one side, like the crystals all in the corner, and then the hard fiber parts you can separate. So eventually, after mulling like a lot of weed, I compressed all the kiff together. And that's what we're going to be smoking today.
So yeah, we pretty much have this. Let me just grab it. We have this gigantic ball of compressed kiff, and that's going to be our toke today. So, you know, as we say, we're always trying to find some new ways of getting high.
And stupid.
And so here we've got this one going on. So we'll see how this hits us under our hungover state.
I don't know how this is going to go down because I haven't smoked that thing yet. So Jay is going to be the pilot.
I'm going to be the soldier that's going to...
The one who's going to put his flag on the map. And let's see what his commentary is going to be like after. And he lights up, ladies and gentlemen, and he's taking a cool, nice, long drag, and his face is changing colors, and, well, he's holding it like a man. He's holding it, and grabs the puffs a lot, and out it comes. Smooth, white.
Very nice.
Nice smelling.
Very nice. Doesn't cough you. I mean, I could go higher and overboard and fill my entire lungs with it, but I'm hungover. I don't want to be too...
Yeah, we poisoned.
Yeah,
artificial poison.
Let me just
my turn to get high.
Alright, so Splint's going up and he's loading up his kiff ball, just getting out there, burning it. Taste is very nice as the kiff ball. And of course, as always, Mr. Puffalot help us purify the smoke because, you know, it's still not entirely legal.
That
everywhere.
is nice. Actually, I was expecting
smooth,
something
harsh, like harsh, but it is
like rough because it's not good quality weed that we got. because we had a project where we had to find bad weed, and that was like the worst and the hardest thing for me to do because I only associate myself with good weed.
Yeah, no, it's really difficult to find bad weed these days.
Yeah, like swaggy, crappy, like lawn weed that you just fertilize whatever with.
Exactly.
But actually, the kids
I'm gonna take a second hit because
go for it. It's actually I made it for this this special moment.
Unlike with Moonrock and Wax, it's like second hits merited. You know, it's not.
There's no like aftertaste. There's no nastiness to it and stuff. It's a nice kiff ball. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have the chance, you can make these things at home. Smoking cannabis is not just a one layer thing. You can experiment. You can go and find your way. You can do shit.
What we can do another episode in the future where we talk about different things you can make with weed.
Yeah.
If you guys like that, shoot us a message on the forums, Forum the Stoners. So let's jump into
cannabis versus alcohol.
Versus fucking alcohol. Now, the reason we're doing this is because, as Splint mentioned yesterday, we had a gig. So we started up this music collective about 7 months ago.
Yeah, late November.
Something in late November or December-ish there.
Yeah.
Splint and I got together. Eventually we got a bassist. We've got we're building on this collective of music, right? And yesterday was the first day that I stepped on stage in probably about 7-8 years,
that I as well stepped out.
Yeah,
and played in front of people
so it was a pretty big deal. And the place that we were at, which was Central Funk, it's this hidden little gem inside of Mexico City. If you don't know where it is, you just walk right by it. So it's really cool. It's a small space, but it's very
vibrant,
homey,
very active.
The people that's relaxed. There, they appreciate music. So we were there. Unfortunately, because it is downtown, we don't have the ability to spark up.
No, that was the worst part.
We had to do some
you have to go
guerrilla sparking,
incognito. To just hide but people know we were smoking, and they just stood and stared at us, and we were like,
they look at these stoners, But so we can do it. So most of our consumption was alcohol based.
We had to.
We didn't drink a lot. I mean, I drank, I think, total like 5 beers the entire evening. Compared to the average Joe that's out at a club, he'd be spending a few $100s on booze,
But mind you, we're not drinkers as.
Yeah, we don't
I don't drink alcohol as I used to. I was able to drink a shitload and not get drunk. Now that I'm consuming more cannabis, drinking more water, more healthy, my body is more resistant to alcohol.
It doesn't work, does it?
It doesn't feel good.
Like I said, I drank about
worse.
5 beers and I got the hangover from hell, man. I was like,
dude, we were under lights, we were playing, smoking. It was a whole mixture of things that led to us being hungover, because a hangover basically is just a lack of water in your system. Deep dehydration. So I was drinking water and stuff. I'm not actually a hangover, more that my blood pressure is a bit high.
The thing is, what happened with me, I used to be able to drink a lot of alcohol, and then one day my body switched, and it was just like, nah. I started drinking like 2 beers, and then I'd have a hangover.
Your body was actually telling you, like,
my body is like, nah, dude, weed, you do that till
alcohol.
infinity and beyond, but do alcohol, I have to drink. I mean, I have nothing against alcohol. I'd like a good glass of wine and a beer every now and then, but as you would consume food, not as a drug. You know what I'm saying? Like,
everything has its limit, and then from that point onwards, it's just greed, people.
Yeah. So today we're talking about the difference between what would have happened if last night was weed related versus alcohol related. So from the alcohol based experience, it wasn't bad. Like I said, I'm not opposed to alcohol. I think. A lot of people's
never been a bad thing. It's just too much of it, or just an addiction to it, just makes you weak.
I think whether you're smoking weed, drinking booze, whatever, everybody's got their personal choice of things,
sure.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, one might be more dangerous than the other one. Like in the case of alcohol is, scientifically speaking, a more dangerous drug.
It poisons your body every moment you drink it.
Cannabis, you've got cannabinoid receptors in your body. You're receiving all of these things. Your body's actually it's made to consume and process cannabis, but not alcohol. There's no alcohol receptors in the brain. There's no
it's a foreign contaminant.
Yeah, exactly. And so what happens is when you have a high blood alcohol level, you get drunk because you've actually overdosed yourself with alcohol that your body can't.
That one shot too many.
Exactly. So that's the first thing. The first thing is that alcohol is more dangerous. It is
it has led to a lot of side effects.
I mean, in the U.S. alone, 88,000 people died directly because of alcohol consumption.
Yeah,
88,000 directly die from alcohol consumption. I don't even know the statistics worldwide, but it's definitely part of it.
But alcohol is known to kill in cars, people. Road accidents.
I'm saying 88,000 deaths is not correlated. I mean,
exactly. That's just alcohol.
That's just the booze.
Pure alcohol.
Yeah.
We're not even speaking about the outside, the outskirts of alcohol's echo.
Exactly.
The ripple effect.
The echo of alcohol, for instance. Did you know? And this is according to the FBI database, that 40% of all violent crimes was done under the influence of alcohol. Yeah. Alcohol was
domestic
a prominent
abuse
factor. Domestic abuse, exactly.
Hit and runs, people getting killed in accidents, people dying because someone was under the influence of alcohol.
We're talking 40%.
Violence, shots fired because of 40%.
40% of violent crimes.
That's a shitload. I mean, 60% gets divided into smaller fragments, but 40% solely concentrated
almost
on
half of all violent crimes.
10%, but that could change in the next 5 years, 2 months. But that margin to make it half makes it fucking scary.
Exactly. So you've got alcohol that's if you drink too much, you become violent.
People can't control their shit
become
anymore.
Violent, rather. Not you will, but it's at least with half of the people, you'll get violent, because you lose your inhibitions, you lose your filters, you just become
instinctual
fueled by the alcohol.
Yeah, it just takes over.
So we've got violent crimes, and it's one of the most consumed legal drugs.
Actually celebrated.
It's celebrated.
Poison.
Yeah. Whereas cannabis, cannabis has killed 0 people in the entire history of cannabis. You can smoke a pound of fucking weed, and the next day you won't wake up with a hangover. You might be all a little bit slow.
They actually aren't. There's no withdrawals when you're coming out of that type of.
Well, that's also another thing. They say that the hangover is early signs of withdrawal symptoms. Your body took too much, and it's a withdrawal process.
It's asking you to stop.
Yeah.
It's telling you, listen, stop drinking. Otherwise, this is going to get worse.
So. I had 5 beers and I woke up with the headache from hell. Now, as mentioned, my body about 10 years ago started telling me, dude, alcohol is not your drug of choice. You can't consume this on a daily basis and be okay. So I actually don't drink. I have a beer and it's in my fridge for 2 weeks before I drink it.
Yeah, I've also.
And I'm only drinking it because I'm eating a steak and I want to have the beer to wash it down. That's it. I smoke weed every day though. And every day I don't wake up with a hangover. I don't feel foggy.
Feel refreshed. Actually, feel like you could switch off.
Yeah, my insides don't feel like it's rotting. When
you don't have the sensation of wanting to crap yourself while vomiting in your.
Exactly, that's terrible.
It's amazing how people could say I was hungover. Dude, a hangover to me is close to death.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like you feel your your soul is being pulled out of your body. I'm people celebrate that crap.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped drinking because it wasn't actually
just
good
my
thing.
body told me no.
Yeah, my body.
And I think that happens with a lot of cannabis consumers. Before you start smoking weed regularly, you might be drinking alcohol, and that might be the thing. And then later on,
your body starts telling you, "Hey, the latter may be better."
Yeah, you start smoking weed, I don't feel as bad, and I can.
And you start balancing out your life. You become more productive.
You become healthier.
Yeah, and then you still notice who the bad friends in your life were in the first place, and where where that hole in your financial records has gone. That
little spot
that expense
filled.
that you can cover.
And the thing is, with weed, you'll never wake up the next day and be like, "Who the fuck's this person I fucked?" It's like
let's not mention.
You don't get beer goggles on weed.
No,
Ganja goggles don't exist.
You get it. You become intelligent and deep.
Maybe you'll rather fall in love with the soul of a person.
I can actually just mention a crap load of good experiences with weed-related people than with alcohol-related
weed
people.
For 20 years about, and during those 20 years, if I've only smoked weed, I've never had a bad experience in terms of smoking too much or any of those things.
Seeing that we brought up the theme of weed, the kiff I collected is not that bad.
It's very smooth. It's mild.
It's a nice
I also think because we're kind of hungover, the weed is acting more medicinal than recreational.
Yeah, it is actually, guys.
Like
ladies and gentlemen,
I feel fine now.
If you are hungover and you've got this urge to vomit, light up a joint. Trust me.
Yeah, it'll take away your nausea.
That feeling you feel like just wanting to bring your whole stomach up through your throat and just throwing it out so it can clean itself.
Yeah,
that'll be gone. I'm talking about you can have a normal breakfast and not feel like, and then the headache would also disappear because it actually starts letting you digest water, so you can start hydrating. So wise people, smoke a joint when you're hungover. Stupid ass, lie in bed
wise people
and die.
Wise people don't get hungover.
Yeah, that's even the best part. Don't put yourself in the situation.
Smoke weed instead. And this is what I decided. I mean, when it comes to alcohol,
a good hit goes a long way.
Alcohol can be okay. And when I was a younger kid, I enjoyed being drunk. But as I became more mature, I like to have...
It was more rebellious, right?
I like to have more control. Like, alcohol for me is a very chaotic drug because...
Actually, it is because there's a point where you lose your inhibition completely. Women are known, like, for that point, but in men too, it's like there's a point where the animal comes out in most people, the violent part, and that's what alcohol does. Unfortunately, it brings out some kind of subterranean anger, frustration, and people call it the lubricant because it brings out the truth.
So in my case, I went over more to weed. Like I said, I'm not against alcohol. I understand that alcohol is a dangerous drug. I'm not against drugs at all. I mean, that's the first thing we have to establish. People's like, well, what about heroin? Or what about crack? Or what about coke, you know? What about these evil, bad drugs, you know?
People have the right to choose the way they want
exactly. It's like, I mean, what's the difference? You're talking about the tobacco and alcohol is legal. Alcohol killing is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths due to the violent tendencies. But every football, like NFL show, you'll have like, drink a bud. It only makes 40% people violent, you know? It's like...
Yeah, it's like...
So...
we want you to get fucked up.
Yeah, and then tobacco is legal. Tobacco kills like millions of people a year.
It brings out...
And the thing is, there's another misconception about tobacco. Tobacco, in essence... The plant,
the raw plant,
if you cure it like you would, if you grow it like you would grow weed, and then cure it and do all those things like you would do weed without pesticides and stuff like that,
natural selection,
it's
like
not
a
that bad
normal
for you. But
process.
what the reason tobacco is killing so many people is because of all the pesticides that's on the crops, and one of the pesticides actually is radioactive. See, I was thinking to myself the other day, I've learned that I think it's called.
Whoa, that's messed up.
No, it seriously is. Like,
and you smoke a lot.
I smoke a lot, no, and
I quit smoking because I found out what.
Yeah,
it's basically like sucking on an exhaust pipe.
No, it's worse. An exhaust pipe doesn't have radioactive material.
Radioactive made it just like sucking on a radioactive car's exhaust pipe.
The point is that. Tobacco is legal and people get this.
And it's a poison that is served.
I'm not against any drug use. If you want to take heroin, you know, if you want to do it, then fucking do it.
It's your life.
Just as long as you don't intervene or interfere in the liberties and the freedoms of other people.
And
you can
do
whatever you want to do. As long as you don't infringe.
I think that actually should be put into a human rights category because your right as a human being to choose how you want to live.
You can, if you want
your pleasures,
If you
not being dominated by other influences. You could use the drug of your choice, and because in most European countries they're also doing that. They have little houses where drug addicts can go and shoot up, and they can be safe and relaxed. So. When other worlds are busy changing towards one direction, we're still stuck in a stone age of the taboos of this and that and that. We need to grow, people.
You have to understand that drug use is okay.
Yeah.
Like, everybody gets fucked up in one way or another. Whether it's a legal drug or an illegal drug. And the severity of the drug, well, that's to the discretion of each person, because I know what my limits are. Alcohol is legal, and I hardly drink it.
Yeah, it's
if tomorrow heroin is legal,
it's more available.
If tomorrow heroin's legal, I won't consume heroin.
It's not just because it's available we're gonna jump. But the point is, also, I just want to get to another point. Is like knowing yourself and knowing your limits will make you a better person.
Yeah.
So growing and moving in better directions is what we're talking about.
Exactly. Find the drug of your choice. In our case, I mean, obviously, I'm thinking the people that's listening, weed is the prime choice.
We're not saying go and do drugs. We're saying if you're gonna do it, take care of yourself.
Just be responsible.
Exactly.
Just be responsible.
Also, the other thing I want to bring up is those who don't understand. We have this custom of hating the things we don't know. Yeah. We shoot before we look and switch on the light, and then we find the answer. The point is, get to know what drugs are, what the effects are, and what the real process is.
Just be informed. Yeah,
be informed
and realize the drug
information
choice
is key.
Like drug consumption is a choice, and whether you believe one drug is worse than another one, alcohol is infinitely worse than weed.
And you guys take pharmaceutical drugs, and then you shit, and then you have to take something
Adderall
else
is
for
methamphetamines.
that. And you don't question. The doctor says take these 2 times a day, and you find yourself waking up in a parking lot somewhere on the other side of town with your pants down.
Well,
and you're what the?
Adderall is pretty much meth. Just a slight change of
opium is part of most drugs that we pay for freely. But you're not allowed to use it on its own. But as a byproduct, you're allowed to use it.
Yeah,
Isn't that a great law?
That's what I'm saying. So first of all, understand that you can't judge anybody for what they're eating, And secondly, you can't have the government tell you what you can and cannot put into your mouth.
That sounds a bit like prostitution.
Not just that, it's more of slavery. It's like you don't have the right to use your own body and your own mind.
Actually, you don't have the right to be.
The only way that the state can justify that they can make a law against you consuming any drug is if the premise of their law is that you are their property. Other than that, there's no logical justification for another entity or another person. That's like me going to you, Splint, and I'm like, no, dude, you can't drink orange juice. You can't do it. Why? It doesn't matter. If you do it, I'm going to throw you in a cage.
Orange juice is natural.
It doesn't matter. It's bad, and it's bad for you. And scientists somewhere said so. So therefore, if I catch you with an orange or do any of those things, it's going to be illegal for everyone because I, Jay, think that I'm protecting you.
But isn't that the government in general?
That is exactly what they're doing. That's what I'm saying. The only way that I can justify that position is if I owned you. Then I'd be like, I'm protecting my property. So
the investments I make in my property, the health and the well-being of my property.
Exactly.
Therefore, you have right as a property owner to get mad at someone that dinged your car.
Exactly.
So that means you are basically...
They justify their position on drug prohibition based on the supposition that you are their property. And to make sure that you are their property, they give you a serial number when you get born.
Oh, what's your social security number? Yeah. Your identification number?
What's your ID number? Come on, tell me. Where's the little barcode on the side of your neck? So, point is, this is the point, people. We started off with alcohol and weed, and that's the thing. As you know that we go weed, we wanted to talk to you guys about the experience of alcohol because it's fresh and it's inside of us right now.
And we're
still diluting the alcohol out of our systems. If this was weed, it would be a completely different story. If we went yesterday and smoked a pound of weed, we'd be like, what about, out there.
Everybody can hear the energy level is a bit down today as well.
Yeah, but it's fine. That's why during today I put only pure chill music in the smoke. It's a Sunday. You guys
nothing
smoke
too
up
active, nothing
you
too
smoke
high.
up your stuff and listen to us rant about random things. The point here is, started with alcohol, we started with weed. We know that we like weed.
Hey, we're not discriminating against people who drink alcohol. Your choice is your choice, but
I've got
at the end of the day,
this
is our choice.
Alcohol.
And saying we going more towards the weed side because at the end of the day, there's less side effects. To be honest,
for us, and that's our personal choice. And let's get to a point in society where everybody can just be the same way with all drugs. And say, you know what? Like I had a guy one time come to my place, and he was like, "Yo, can I smoke some crack?" And most people's like, crack? Well, crack is just smoked cocaine, really. And if it's got a negative stigma to it. Obviously, I don't like to smoke that, and stay away from those type of things. But so this dude shows up, and he wanted to take a couple of hits from a crack pipe, and I was like, all right, just do it there. And I gave him a rule. I said, as long as you don't steal any of my shit or take a shit on my floor, you can do anything you want. You know, that's it. Those are the two.
Those are good rules.
Yeah,
I say the same shit.
Yeah, just
because I'm faster than you, and I fucking catch you and I beat your ass
I
up.
won't be messed up.
And we'll ruin a good friendship. We had a good thing, man.
The point is that in terms of consumption of narcotics in general, a lot of people choose alcohol, and that's fine. And
but weed is better.
We don't discriminate against them. They can do what they want to do.
Our choice is our choice.
But
their choice
also
is
respect.
theirs.
Let the respect be mutual.
Yeah.
If I know that your drug is more dangerous than my drug, well, as long as I know that you can handle it.
But at the end of the day, if you look at the way the world is working, the direction it's working towards, legalization is going to change a lot of things. We're going to face a level of change we're going to evolutionize the world, basically.
Well, I think
cannabis is going to be part of the next building blocks.
After cannabis legalization, the next one's going to start moving into psychedelics, I believe.
No, but the point I want to make is that
I believe the drug that would become legal after cannabis will be psilocybin, will be mushrooms.
That would be great, but what I want to keep to the point is that alcohol will soon start being a secondary choice of drug.
I think we should get to a point where
because there are a lot of people that actually smoke. They are closet smokers.
Yeah.
They drink alcohol to be socially accepted, but really their love is cannabis in their privacy. I have a lot of these friends. They drink socially, but they don't really want to. They want to smoke, but the stigma behind lighting up has always been, the bad thing. So a lot of them smoke at home, and they don't usually drink that much.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day is many people are gonna be like, hey, I've heard, and then now because marijuana, cannabis is now being legalized in most of the world, it's only a question of time that everybody's gonna be like, hey, you know what, alcohol, it is a bad thing.
Some people will like drinking. Like I know people that don't like to smoke weed, and that's okay.
I know that also comes into the question of bloodlines and
preferences, and that's what I'm coming to. Like the point is, I would like to eventually get to a point in society where everybody's well educated about all of the options,
their choices,
and
what
ways
they're getting
to get
themselves
fucked up,
into,
and then know it. Have society be prepared for any adverse effect.
Like the truth of, this medication is gonna mess you up.
This is what this does, and if you put this happens. But you're still free to choose.
Every time when you get a medication from a doctor, don't just put it in your mouth. Go online, check it out.
Study
what its side effects is.
Exactly.
That's the reason why I left a lot of the medications I was on, because the crap that they give you for depression will make you so stone cold silent inside. It makes you dead.
Yeah.
And then it gives you diarrhea, or it gives you high blood pressure.
Or like kills your
but
kidneys.
You're taking this voluntarily.
Because some dude in a white coat told you.
There are medications that I don't know if you've noticed those ads were like, this item might, and then they give you like this small print which is legal, but it goes by so fast that you can't see it, and then you're like, okay, I'm getting that medication because it's gonna cure my this and that and that.
Yeah, but it's gonna give you 14 new problems.
Oh, it's gonna give you so much more shit to deal with.
You're gonna need pills to get rid of the side effects of the pills.
Of the side effects of the side effects of the dominoes that.
So anyway, the point is, guys. Our experience is treat everybody as you want to be treated. Now, if you like to drink or if you like to be like that, this goes to everybody.
People as
don't judge people based on their drug consumptions. That's really
at the end of the day,
line.
It's just not even a coping mechanism.
It's just what you like. It's your own
how
choice.
You unwind,
dude. Yeah, you're going through life. You're in control of your own decisions. You're in control of your own perception. You're the one that's
grinding every day to make me
do what the fuck you want to do. Just always be sure to respect everybody else's freedom. If your freedom is respected and if everybody else's freedom is respected, we're all having a good time.
At the end of the day, some people can, unwind with some whatever music and a glass of red wine. Others need something more that takes them out of the element,
Yeah, exactly.
A blunt, whatever you need. But just do it with respect.
Some people would like to microdose LSD or microdose psilocybin. That's
and be safe when you do these kinds of things. Have someone around that's going to check up on you in case you do it a little bit too hard and you find yourself fighting for your life and no one knows
No, well, if you do it correctly, you'll never find yourself fighting for your life.
But, you know, some of us...
If you're an idiot and you're going to be like, I'm going to take like 10 hits of acid and see what happens, well, you're a fucking idiot.
Son.
And sort
you
of...
go into the spirit world.
And in one way or another, you sort of deserve it. If you do it
that donkey punch is what you...
Because you're
that
not,
was a stupid
you're
choice.
You're not being responsible. And that's the main lesson. Be responsible.
Stop pushing the envelope.
In your consumption. Be aware. Know what it's about. And then just, like, with an active mind and an active decision, just do it. You know? And then know what the consequences are and be okay with it.
Be in control, because like the Japanese saying says, first man takes the drink takes the drink, and then the drink takes the man, which means you later are not in control. So with cannabis you still have that amount of control at the end of the day. Alcohol gives you less and less the more you drink, the more
in
you
moderation
feel,
everything's okay,
and then you lose it.
And it's just be moderate. I mean, there's no need to do excesses anyway. Even with weed, it's not necessary.
Weed switches off after a while. It goes into standby, and you're like, hey, I'm high enough now and I feel good, and
I want
you
to
put
eat
the
some
blunt
food
down
and watch some Netflix or something.
Do something. Just like watch a movie and just chill. Go on autopilot or cruise control for a while. That's weed. Alcohol gets you driving, gets you doing this. Alcohol is like more... I've seen people that cannot walk, but I've seen how smashed. There's a guy in the town where I stay. This guy has a pickup. Talking about this thing is so smashed from the front to the back. Everybody knows him. He just stopped at a speed bump, and he looked at me. He's like, "What's up? What's wrong?" I'm like, "I didn't say anything to you," and he pulls over. But I'm talking about this dude snakes up and down the road, and everybody just gets out of his way. But they know about him. So the point is, like, that is in moderation. That's too much. You understand?
That's booze hound Barry. He doesn't know. You know. So the point here, guys, is and gals and unicorns,
fairies.
The point here is that all substances, though they are not equal, they should be as permissible, because
and respected.
Ultimately, you're the one in control of your own life, and whatever your drug of choice is, that's your decision. We like weed because of all of the benefits, and as on a stoner's journey, you will begin to learn how and why weed is loved.
And you will join the journey.
Yeah. So I think we're going to leave it at that. We've been going for 32 minutes now. It was a more mellow episode, but I think our sound... What do you guys think about our sound? We split up the mic, so I think every voice will be a little bit more clearer with less echo. Every day we're going to be working on making
improving
us better.
Our journey too.
So thank you guys for tuning in one more time. We'll see you guys next Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, by the way, we did a video on Marijuana-ly. About good weed versus bad weed. You guys can check that out. Just go to Marijuana.
Please do.
Submit your comments. We will be answering a question on Thursday. Forum to Stoners. The link will be in the description or wherever you're watching this from.
Yeah, post something interesting we can speak
about.
Just
go down there, sign up. It's a free account. I mean, just support the cannabis movement. Let's make a community.
Get involved, people.
Let's get out. Let's talk.
Be without you and with you. So
we're just gonna keep on going. So let's keep the conversation going. And,
people, get us interested.
And we'll share some images about us at Central Funk doing that stuff down in the post below. So you guys can just check us out and see us. Who eventually will bring in video into our podcast, but for right now, we're just keeping it down to audio with some music, something that you can put on while you're doing housework and want to chill with a couple of stoners and smoke
and we're
a joint.
Evolving. Don't worry, we're getting better at
we're
this.
We're always gonna get better. Thank you guys. Like I said, we're also hitting over 300 views per episode, which is fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
And so I will keep on working for you guys. This is Jay.
This is Splint.
And this was the Stoner's Journey. So enjoy some music, mellow, chill. Let's just take
Unwind.
it out. And we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Peace.
Peace.